Now, whether you've escaped the city and bought an acreage in the country or you live on a cattle station, chances are there's going to be some trees on your property.
And that's a good thing because trees represent value, whether it's environmental value or economic value. The trick is to maximise the value, and that is done through management by understanding what you've got. For landholders without forest management experience, it can be a bit of a puzzle. First of all, understanding what you've got, and secondly, how to make that patch of bush work best for you and the environment.
Private Forestry Service Queensland is a not-for-profit organisation dedicated to helping landowners manage their bush. Regular field days provide a hands-on learning experience for people who want to know more.
We tend to do these days obviously out in the paddock, in the field, so that people can get a good understanding of both the species mixes around the place, as well as the the health and the stocking rates, and get a really good understanding of what trees are actually in the forest, rather than just looking at the whole forest.
The style of PFSQ and other organisations that I've worked for is really don't put it up on a whiteboard or a PowerPoint, but actually get out there and show them what the result of good forestry management is and what the potential is.
The field days attract a broad mix of interest, from farmers with thousands of hectares to lifestylers with just a few. In each case, landholders want to be doing the right thing, but there are a few obstacles and plenty of red tape if you're not well informed.
A lot of the time they just are confused about the legislation. They don't understand what they can do and what they can't do, and so that's often the primary reason they come, and then they get caught up in this is what I've got, that this is the product I'm actually growing. This is the focus of what I should be doing, rather than just allowing outsiders to come in and make all the decisions for them.
Learning to assess and to calculate what you have in your patch of bush now is very important, and that's what today is all about. But Dykes, at the end of the day, the key is patience.
This is the long game, Andrew. Take this one, for example. If you were to harvest it today,
yes,
it has a value. You would get something for it. If, on the other hand, you were to manage it, that is to remove some of the competition from around it and give it time, say 10 years, if you came back and harvested it, then it would be worth 4 times as much. I'm not sure your super fund will do as well.
It's a strategy Owen Thompson and his family have been banking on for 5 generations. A mixed cattle farming, timber growing operation which has stood the test of time. Active forest management on the farm creates a healthier, more biodiverse environment, and growing the trees to their maximum value generates equity.
I call it my readily available borrowing bank, so that when I need to replace a piece of machinery, or I have a project in mind, a development project that might make a certain part of the property a better grazing proposition, I can draw on my tree bank by a bit of extra harvest to finance that little project. And that's sort of the philosophy that it's been operated on.
For plenty of others, the inspiration is aesthetic rather than financial. Jared Blackmore is pretty typical. He's had a 100-hectare block for a few years now and wants to make it better.
My plan sort of changed when I met PFSQ. Definitely. I'd love to put some of their stuff into practice, 100%. Also as well, I think they do a good job of sort of the conservation side of things as well. Like, it's both tie in so perfectly, so it's great for a landholder that wants to sort of retain the natural beauty.
Jim Stewart has a long-term plan for his block, and maybe a bonus for the kids.
I can see the biodiversity strengths of native forest, and I just want to put a plan in place so I can plant out probably about 10 to 12 acres of trees. I won't see the harvesting of it, but hopefully someone in the family or somebody in the future will get that benefit.
It's important to remember that the PFSQ model isn't about clearing the land, it's about management, getting rid of the weeds, thinning the trees and allowing the forest to reach its full potential.
Sean, when we're talking about harvesting the timber from our own block, we're not talking about just clearing the whole block though, are we?
No, in fact, when we focus on it, we actually focus on the trees we want to keep. It's only the trees that are starting to deteriorate that we actually remove. So we focus on keeping the best trees that we can here, and removing the ones that are either genetically inferior or have started to develop a fault or have reached their maximum value and they're ready to come out.
So we're harvesting here, but there's still a lot of trees around.
Yeah, it's really only maybe a fifth of the trees at any one time, and you sort of every 15 or years we come back and take another fifth, and then those have already been replaced by regeneration for those. So the cycle goes on.
You end up with money,
yes,
heaps of really good trees. Private Forestry Service Queensland has developed a detailed training manual which covers all the key areas for interested landowners, and the association runs regular field days throughout the year.
PFSQ is a not-for-profit and its charter is to provide support for sustainable private forestry. The website is a mine of information for landholders, so if you'd like to do better by your trees, head to pfsq.net, or even better, roll up to one of the field days.